The views, thoughts, and expressions of the show are purely satire and do not reflect the host's employer or any associated parties pertaining to the hosts. This is a joke of a show. Do not take this show serious. We are idiots.
MFA is the podcast of the day. Got a cowboy and a witch and two nerds that don't play. They're talking about things that make your mind afraid. No censor, they're here to slay. They ride through the airwaves, kicking up dust, covering topics that others might cuss. Get ready for all opinions, no fuss. Cowboy, witch and nerds, you better trust.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another fun-filled episode from the NFA Network. I'm Nick.
And I'm Copper.
And I know this is going to be a very fun-filled episode because, I think the last time you and I recorded, Copper, it was... I actually got you to nerd out fairly well.
Yes.
Unexpectedly.
Yeah, we did. It was unexpected for me, too, because it was like, I knew that... I'm trying to remember what we nerded out about, but it was something to where it was like... Because I'd seen the episode that, like, you and Zaga do where you talk about, like, comics and this and that.
Mm.
And I thought it was badass, but, like, the one... I can't remember it. I just remember the, like, sensation of being surprised that you and I nerded out about something, and it wasn't something I expected you to know, and you didn't expect me to know either. We were both like, "Oh my god, you know the thing!" And yeah, the ways to go, best friends. Yup. You want to go do karate in the garage? Yep.
No, I was... Because that was... When we did
Why
that
did
episode...
we meet when we were younger? Even better. We met him when we met when we were in our 30s.
How old are you? Full disclosure, how old are you?
32.
Holy shit.
What?
I didn't think you were actually in your 30s.
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 34.
Okay.
Well, apparently we know who's got the good genes and who's got the bad genes. It's the one that's got the...
Oh, come on. You look fine.
Thank you. But no, you're very rejuvenated for your health. For as much as you do, you have, like, you can't tell that you're... From what you and I have talked about, I know that you do get stressed out fairly often, and you don't... You're everything just doesn't show it. So either you have a really good skincare routine, or you found the fountain of youth on your journeys around the world.
I don't know. Maybe because I've never been married or had children.
That's a good one. You might actually get a point there. But I counter your thing. I've never been married, nor do I have children.
Yeah, but you've also got, like, the beard, though. Like, no, like, I'm sorry, not sorry. Like, no matter what.
No, I know what you're getting.
Not in a bad way. Whenever you have, like, a full beard, it kind of automatically makes you look a little bit like, I want to say mature. Not older, but, like, older and mature, depending on how the beard is. Like, if it's all scraggly and, like, unkempt and all that,
Homeless.
and it's just like, dude, yeah, like homeless. Yeah. Plenty. But yeah, no, I think if you didn't have a beard, you'd look probably younger than you actually are.
Oh, yeah, no, it was before TikTok got the 12-hour ban that we're actually off of right now.
Mm-hmm.
There was a filter that I did try, because you can do it split the screen, and it would show you with a beard, with your beard, and without your beard.
Oh, really?
I removed it from my favorites. It scared me enough where I can't put that out there. It was let me put it this way. It was right before I got my haircut, so my beard was a little bit fuller down.
Mm-hmm.
So for some reason, AI decides to, oh, you know what? Here, we're gonna take away your beard, make sure you what it looks like if you had no hair. They fucking gave me a double quarter pounder chin that was down to here. And I've never been disrespected more in my...
What happens if we took away your beard and gave you 50 pounds of...
Like, I've been disrespected before, and this is probably the utmost, like, I've ever been, like, hit with. And I almost, before we got the 12-hour ban, I almost banned myself because of the embarrassment.
Right. So I'm curious, speaking of the ban, that didn't last very long.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. So what was your plan when we were all under the impression that the ban was just going to go into effect and stay in effect? And is that changing or this or that now that it's back for now? Because it's weird. it's like anytime anybody ever comes up with like, guys, I figured out the algorithm. What you gotta do is and everyone's just like, guys, I figured out what's happening. Like, they reinstated it, right? Because like the deep state government still wants to get some shit from China, and then like in the next 30 days or whatever. And to me, it's like, dude, if it goes away in 90 days again, okay. First off, I ain't gonna be here. Actually, I might still be. No, yeah, the math was not mathing. Okay, I'll be around, but I won't have access to like all my stuff. But like, it's not gonna affect me anyway if it does get banned again, because I think that what he did is he just prolonged it by 90 days or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, so did you have like a plan set in place for if it just got schwacked and it was gone? Is that going to change now that it's back on? Like,
well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I had no plan. All I was going to do was just going to wing it. And as sad as this sounds, it's like, I'm sure as many as the 170 billion users that are on there, it was muscle memory. I was laying in bed when I should have been sleeping, and I would open up the app, I'd refresh it, I would close it out, I would try to open it back up, and it kept giving me the little message. And it was really, it's again, another part that sounds sad is that it wouldn't kick me off, or like I knew it was coming, and when it finally slowed down and it gave me the boot, it was sad. But then I did start thinking about, well, where do we go from here? And I wasn't going to sign up for Red Note. I wasn't going to, obviously you couldn't go to Lemonade because that was another entity of TikTok, as well as CapCut, which CapCut is an editing tool.
Yeah, that one I was surprised by, because I use CapCut for like certain edits to like edit certain things. I had forgotten that like CapCut was owned by TikTok, or it's under the same servers or whatever. So I was like, all right, well, it's going away. There's my feelings about that. Let me go edit this other thing real quick. And I went into CapCut, and it was like, our services are temporary this and this. I'm like, what, them too?
Yep. And I don't use CapCut that often. I use it every now and again, mainly like if I make something for like the podcast and stuff like that, just for like shits and giggles. And so like when I saw that it was down, I was like, well, shit, they're really keeping us to, because I don't really get on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, as much these days. So I was
stay off those entirely. I stay away from those entirely.
So I was on Instagram and Facebook, and unfortunately both of those are so far behind in times. I'm seeing videos from TikTok that I've already seen like 18 months ago.
Right.
And funny thing is that with CapCut, with all this going on, or when it was going on for the 12 hours, I guess Instagram, I don't know if you had heard about this, Instagram was going to roll out this thing called Edits, and it was strictly for Instagram. It was primarily the same thing as CapCut. Obviously, it didn't go out. It didn't go that well because we got TikTok back as of today, January 19th. But to answer your question, I was just going to wing it. I was eventually, because I enjoy making content, I was going to just try to learn the way of how Instagram Reels work, as well as Facebook Reels, and how their editing processes go, and try to refigure out that algorithm, which I don't understand the TikTok algorithm as is, but I do better on obviously TikTok than I do on the other social medias. But you, on the other hand, you are a well-established content creator, meaning like, I mean, you have, I'm not like trying to inflate the ego. Like, I mean, you've come such a long way in your content creations and stuff like that. Like, I was coming across your videos before I even got on this podcast, before I even became friends with Zaga and stuff like that. And so when they had introduced, they'd mentioned your name, I was like, it didn't click. And then when you came on, I was like, holy shit, it's him.
It's that guy.
It's the cowboy in the Jeep. And I knew right away. And so like, I've seen the stuff come like from where you've come from, started from the bottom, and now you're here. And so like now you have like your, like we've talked about your audiobooks, your other content.
Okay, as of lately, let's be honest. As of lately, started from the bottom, was here, went back to somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, but I mean, at least you didn't do like a lot of the content creators and influencers. They kind of pulled the carpet from underneath themselves. They kind of exposed themselves, and now they're kind of fucked. And so I don't know how that's going to work out.
Now, I'm curious what you mean, expose themselves, how?
And okay, so this might be me looking too far into it. I think some of the stuff that they were saying, like in their goodbye videos and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
yeah, they were pretty much like, oh, well, none of this was ever like real, or like I used this as clout and stuff like that.
Okay. I didn't see many of those,
There
but
wasn't many,
yeah,
but
I
they
can
definitely
see
got
why
caught up.
people would do that, which to me is like,
Why?
and like, don't get me wrong, like there is shit that I have posted that I wish I didn't, either because I didn't like how it came out, or I didn't understand that the connotation would get taken one way or the other. But it is what it is. But I would never, ever be like, or at least intentionally, be like, hey y'all, here's this thing that none of y'all knew about me, but since this is going away, it's like, dude, nothing ever goes away.
No, we have a digital,
unfortunately,
carbon.
Yeah, no, digital footprint. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, like for me, it was, I mean, when I made the comment of like start from the bottom, then I was here, now I'm here. TikTok blowing up and doing as well as it did opened up things in my life that were never supposed to happen. Like I wanted to do voice acting. I wanted to do film acting. I wanted to do something in that vein since I was like knee high to a grasshopper. Like I always wanted to do it. And it was just one of those things where it's like, okay, well, if you really do have to be talented in most cases, or like, but it's also that and right place, right time, right people, right notification, all that. And TikTok made that happen. Like, I've been behind because of mic issues and all that. And once the mic issues gets fixed, I'm pretty much going to be I'm going to be up in that booth in the upstairs of my house for like 8 hours a day for like a couple weeks, like taking up all the time I miss. But it's like, dude, I get to fucking do that now. Like
something that you've dreamt of doing.
Yes.
So like, yeah, I think that's what a lot of people have failed to realize is like, I'm sure you've seen the jokes, like when TikTok went down, everyone was like, oh, now these content creators, they got to get real jobs, or, oh, I never used TikTok. And that's cool. If you have never used TikTok, congratulations. You didn't fall to it.
Good for you.
Yeah, good for you. To each their own. Everyone's allowed to do what they want, whatever brings them joy and stuff like that. But what people fail to realize is that this app entirely has built virtual communities, has helped small businesses, has helped. You are a prime example, for someone who had a dream of that, and it helps skyrocket. It opens up so many avenues because it is globally connected. And are there faults with it where stuff can be leaked? Yes, but unfortunately, everything that we have on this device right here, whether it be Android, iPhone, what have you, all your information can be gone. It takes. There's so many people that have these techniques that can steal whatever they want to. So the reason they gave us, I don't agree with. I think it was a whole other ploy, but that's a tale for another day. But
I will say this much: it was a great. Sorry, not to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. No, that was pretty much
it was a good springboard, and even outside of me, entirely outside of me in my life, like, dude, the amount of messages that I get, or people who have sent things to the company mailbox, and I hate that I can't write back to every single one of them. Dude, the amount of people who have been like, I was going through a dark time and you helped, or I was at the edge and you pointed. The first person who ever recognized me in public ran up to me crying because my videos and all that helped a friend of hers who was on the edge. And, they were there to help her, but like me and what I had to say and how I say it and all that helped pull her back from that edge. And it was like, dude, like the as much stupidity as it has cost me, as much as it has fallen, and I have very much fallen out of the limelight, and I am not what's shiny no more. I cast this light on people, and it improved their lives. And, beyond that, it was that Floof Ninja Nation literally spans the damn globe. It's like, I think it's like 18 or 19 countries or whatever now that like people have my merch. Like there's a dude in the German Bundeswehr who rocks a Floof Ninja patch on his uniform every now and again on the flight line. There's a young lady in Australia. There's a young lady in, I think it's no, not Czechoslovakia, just Slovakia. Like it spanned everywhere. And I made a positive impact on a lot of people's lives. And this is just outside my life. Like, yes, in my life, especially in the past, I'm going to go with year, there was a lot of stupidity that it brought up. There was a lot of drama that it brought up, which is part of what pulled me away from it, because it was everything going on in my life between fire, military, audiobooks, my life as a whole, personal turmoil, professional turmoil, a whole bunch of different things that pulled me away from it. Once I lost that momentum, it was hard to get it back. But at the end of the day, dude, it's like I made a positive impact on a lot of people's lives. And to me, it was like, listen, this is the end of that. You know, I got all the other things I want to do. Like when I thought the ban was just going to go into effect and stay into effect, you know, I said it on the like photo post I did. I was like, hey, y'all, this app's going away. I ain't. Still on Instagram, still on the Patreon, still on YouTube, still on this, still on that. And you know, that's honestly still the plan. You know, the plan is honestly to still step away from TikTok, because whether you call it falling in the algorithm valley or whatever it is, like I'll still be there, and the things I'm doing on all these other platforms, when I can filter them towards TikTok, I will, but TikTok is just not the focus anymore. You know, it served its purpose, and it brought me, either directly or indirectly, some of the coolest things I've ever done, some of the most beautiful, wonderful people I've ever met, some people that are very much friends of mine now. I mean, me being here is a result of that. And whether it ends because the apps go down or it ends because I just fell out of the limelight of it, like it still brought me all these good things. But it brought me all these good things, but it also brought a lot of BS and troubles. So
Hey, that's
walking
a package
away
deal of it.
Huh?
It's a package deal of it.
It is a package deal of it. So the joke we've made a lot of times is big celebrity problems without the big celebrity pay, because believe it or not, 2.2 million followers does not mean $2.2 million. It does not mean that. That would be nice, but no. So my plan is still to walk away from it, at least as far as being like a focal point of, oh, I have to worry about this and this and this, or oh, shit, I haven't done this and this. It's there. Cool. I'm going to leave my stuff up so that people can still see it. If they still find inspiration or comfort or this and this and that, or a laugh or this and that from it, cool. As I do things on all these other platforms, I will post snippets of them towards the TikTok. But as far as like doing things specifically with TikTok in mind, not really, you know? We were talking with Zaga before that, like once the views dropped and then my real life got in the way. I mean, I think people tend to forget, like, yeah, you see me doing all this, like, you know, between the firefighting, military, the this and that. People were like, dude, your life seems so cool. I'm like, it's not.
You only see a glimpse.
Yeah, you only see a glimpse. But like, in order to like get that footage of me doing cool things, like there's the responsibility of those cool things, which I got to go do. So, you know, I've been very, very blessed. I mean, I could look at it from such a negative standpoint of like, oh, well, it's all gone away now. And even though it's back, like my numbers are still low. I could look at all the negatives, or I could look at all the awesome stuff that it has brought, all the priceless people that it has brought me, you know.
You're a glass half full kind of guy.
Trying to be.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult to do.
It is. And there's a lot of times, I'll be perfectly honest with you, there's a lot of times I'm not, especially as of late, because it's been like hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. And even though I don't lay down, I don't lay down and die. Like even when I'm on the ground, I'm still fighting, or I'm still moving, or whatever. But like, it's been hard to be a glass half full guy. And you know, you get in this almost like, I don't want to say cynic mindset, but it's almost like, you know, if I acknowledge the good stuff, well, that shit's going to get taken away too. So I can't do that. And it doesn't help. But so I've tried to be more of a glass half full guy. And that's how I'm looking at all of this is I choose to look at all the cool stuff it has brought me and run with the good stuff that it has brought me. And even it's funny, like watching other people who, while my numbers have gone down, theirs have gone up. There's no jealousy. There's no this and that, because like a lot of them who I see them and I follow them and like I talk to them. Like Jacques the Whipper is doing amazingly.
I come across this all the time.
Oh, I love that man. And as someone who, you know, has him like as a friend, like, yes, we film together and we do things and stuff like that. I check in on him just to check in on him. And he checks on me just to check on me. And I see him doing better and better and better and better. And there is not a single part of me that goes like, yeah, wait, no, if anything, I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Hell yes. Like I want everything in the world for that man. I want everything in the world for Wheezy and how she's doing. Like, Sad Spice and how she's doing, Autumn and how she's doing, like all these people who I've met through TikTok as fellow creators, like Lion Dad. Dad's doing pretty good. And I just talked to him recently, and I'm watching all these other creators not go through the decline and all that I have. Like Poppy Taco, like got to meet him at Sinful, and that man is just awesome. I love that man, and he's doing good. And I'm happy to see every single one of them doing good. Like there's no part of me that's like, what am I doing wrong? This and that. It's like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm walking my path, and my path has a whole bunch of shit that happens off camera. Will it maybe someday be talked about on camera? Sure. But my shit has a whole bunch of stuff that's going on off camera, as is everybody's. But all these people who have come close to, their stuff's going up, and I'm very, very happy to see it. Like I would gladly like fight whoever I need to fight to see them keep going up and up and up and up and up.
And see, that's rare to I guess like come across, because I know that there are a lot of creators out there that they kind of pray for the downfall of other creators, so that it's the whole toxic thing of it, and stuff like that. Because I know like a lot of people, they make I mean, let's be honest, a lot of us make content. And I say us, like I don't have as many followers as you, Wheezy, Taco, any of them, but we all put out a fair amount of content and stuff like that. And it's not only because we like to make the content, but at some point, like deep down, there is that small fraction of, man, if I could make a little bit of money off of this, it would help me out immensely. And so like, it always makes me wonder, like if you were ever like to, like how you said earlier, if you like the 2.2 million followers doesn't make me or followers doesn't mean
2.2 million followers does not mean $2.2 million. Right.
So I have to ask you though, if those followers did turn into money, what's the first weird thing that you would buy? Like right off the bat, what's the first weird thing that you'd buy? No holds barred, no judgment. But if you ask for the soul of a child, we have to end the episode.
I don't really know, because like my first thought is every single bit of debt or this or that I got, Mama's got, like literally everything that Mama, my dad, my sister, me, like all the stressors of money, right? Mm-hmm. I would schwack all that first. But to answer your question, so let's just say it turned into $2.2 million, right? And I could schwack all that, and whatever money is left, what was the first weird thing I'd get? Actually, you know what? I can tell you right now, leather pants.
Assless?
Leather pants. No. No, dude, I'm talking like 90s, like leather jeans, and I would only get them because I just remember that being a thing in like the 90s, early 2000s, is that like, oh, dude, that celebrity's made it because he's got the leather pants. And like Jim Brewer makes a whole joke on this when he like first got on Saturday Night Live and he was making good money. One of the first things he got was a like well-fitting pair of leather pants. And anytime his wife would be like, honey, are you sure about this and this? He'd be like, hey, I got it figured out. You see the leather pants, don't you? And that was such like it was such a status symbol that now is gone. Like
It reminds me of Night at the Roxbury with Chris Kattan and Will Ferrell. Where they had it looked like leather paint. They looked like leather pants.
And it was such a it was a flex to have leather pants. And so I would get them as like a callback to like my childhood and all the dreams I had as a kid and like what was considered a status symbol at that point. And yeah, I'd go to an event and the thing of like, you know, like my 3-piece suit that I wear that from like the waist up with, you know, black leather pants, good fitting boots, and that's how I rock the runway. Just to have like a classic 90s, early 2000s like status symbol. It's like when Kanye rocked like the shutter shades, like that was his thing as his way of like, you know, I made it. And I would just rock the leather pants and it would be like, hey bro, the 90s called. They want their pants back. I'd be like, yeah, tell them they're gonna be waiting a while.
Yeah, they're gonna have to peel them off of me because I got swamp ass.
Yeah.
Could you imagine though? I mean, because you're a very active man, so I feel like if you're wearing leather pants, the term you're gonna rebrand the term swamp ass because it's not gonna
There's no way.
It's not gonna breathe.
You ever seen that college humorous kid? I fight crime all day in a rubber suit. Really seals in the flavor. Yeah, no. Yeah, I didn't say I would wear them very often or go do things in them. I would just buy them just to have them. It's like when how do I word it? It's like when you know what? It's like my dancing in my dress boots. Like I have them to get dressed up in and go dancing in them. I don't wear them outside of that because I won't keep them nice, right? The leather pants would be like I'm going to this big event, or actually not in the far distant future. I'm going to a Edgar Allan Poe speakeasy themed event near me.
That's different,
right?
I've never heard of something like that.
Right. I'm stoked. But like, dude, those would be so perfect for that. That's like goth Victorian as fuck. Black leather pants. 3-piece suit from the waist up.
Copper, I say this with all due respect, and I am saying this with all due respect.
You know, just because you say that at the beginning doesn't mean that what you say next ain't going to
Yes, it does. It does. It's in the Geneva Convention.
The Geneva Suggestions?
Geneva Opinion. But I'm going
to use that one from now on. Geneva Opinions.
But if you had I know you can't do it right now because you don't have the black leather pants, but if you were to do that, I feel like I'm the furthest away, but I think Zaga and Ellie need your location shared with them because you might be kidnapped by local book talk. And you're close to Salem where you might be the first the first sacrifice in I don't know how long.
That's why you wear them in public spaces where it's harder to get kidnapped. Yes.
Not the witches. The witches do not care.
Listen, first off, one of the women who I cherish the most in this world is a witch, Ellie. So that's not what all of them do. And second, you also forget, homie, I'm hard to kidnap.
Jack Wick can be captured.
Not easily.
Listen, I don't know.
Listen, we don't live in a world, right? We don't live in a world where it's that easy to do that stuff in public. Like I would love to know in the John Wick universe, and it's never been explained. But like shit'll happen like out in public. No police show up. Nothing ever shows up. Like everyone is just like, oh, God damn it, Margaret.
The guys, they're fighting again.
Yep. That's one thing I've always been curious about to like the John Wick universe is like these full out firefights happen in public and stuff like that. No police show up, no nothing. There's that one scene in the first John Wick where the cop shows up and he's like, hey, John. Hey, Jimmy. Okay? Working late? Yeah, I just had some unexpected house guests. And like, that's the one time cops show up.
Never
Other
again.
than that, cops never show up. You're going to tell me you're going to get into a full-out firefight in the middle of New York and no cops show up. Like,
I'm glad I'm not the only one that has ever thought about that, because I don't get it.
So I think the underlying tone, is that assassins and this and that are kind of like a, how do I word it? They're kind of like an accepted part of the world, if that makes sense, to where everyone kind of knows it's a thing. And if you see it, kind of let it do its thing. And I think that's why, is that I think this is just a part of the world. No one knows about it, but everyone knows that it happens. So when people see it, they're just like, oh, no, I'm out. And the cops are just like, oh, what's that? Yeah, we're going to let that one go. We're just gonna.
I think I'd have to find it, and I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. There is a movie where I think the cop is with somebody, and it's a new guy, and something happens right in front of, like, goes past him, and the rookie is trying to not to call it in, and the cop's like, no, we're
Training day.
Just let her.
No, not training day.
No, not training day. I can't think of it, but
I know exactly what you're talking. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I just can't think of the movie.
Right.
Yeah. Because it was like dark cult shit, wasn't it?
Something like that, because I think the cop goes, hell no.
Yes. Yep. But, shit, what was I saying? Sorry, yeah, we did go down the nerd rabbit hole.
It kind of went a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, to wrap up the point, like, long story short, like, I have fallen out of the limelight of TikTok due to my, real life getting in the way. And I'm okay with that. Like, I've had a positive effect. I still have a positive effect on some people. I've gotten to meet either in person or virtually some wonderful people. And the majority of them are doing good. And I'm very happy to see that they're still doing good. I still have the audiobooks. I still have the kind of community that I've built around it. It's definitely been a balancing act. And it's been a balancing act that I'm dealing with for the first time. So there was a lot of, plates that trying to spin a lot of plates, and some of them fell and got shattered because I've never had to spin that many plates before. And it wasn't even like spinning that plates. It's not even like spinning the number of plates. It was the kind of plates, that I was like, I don't know how to spin this one. I don't know how to balance this one. Like, how does this work? And yeah, some are going to fall and get shattered, but ultimately what comes into play is my life outside of all that. And that's got to get taken care of first, because if it doesn't, then nothing else matters. Like, it's hard to have a presence online when your real life is that jacked up. And
that's what I think a lot of people that do try to get into the content making world is that they completely just pause their personal life. And if you don't, like you just said, if you don't take care of your personal life first, what you're trying to do is not going to take off at all. It'll only continue to, it'll build, what's the word, the way I'm looking at it, if you compartmentalize it so much, it's eventually just going to explode. And then you have a can of worms that's open that you didn't ever want it open in the first place. And because I talked to Ellie about this on, I think one of the episodes I did prior to this one, and I don't think I brought up social media, but there were times I go through like spurts, and I'm sure you do too, is that I can be on a consistent like posting spree and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden I hit like a brick wall. It's because I get burnt out so fast, and that's it's not even partially my fault. It's all my fault, but it's because I was trying, like you said, spinning too many plates, and and one started to fall, and then the quality starts going down. Then got your foot in your mouth, and it's just it's a domino effect. And you've done, for future content creators, if you're watching this, something that Copper and I can, at least mainly Copper, the more successful one here, can tell you, is that do it in moderation, do it to the best of your ability, but also make sure that you have balance. Because I mean, I'm sure everyone has heard the phrase of have a good work-life balance. Even if you don't create content, if you work in a full-time job, make sure you have a good work-home balance, because if you don't have that, you will just...
Well, I think that's part of what led to my numbers going down so much too, was that it was like I saw what was popular, and I saw it, and it's not so much of like, oh, everyone has to do this now. It was more the things that I would have had to do in order to stay in the limelight were just not me. And I've tried to base what I do. Obviously, there's an amount of creativity in there, and like, between the skits and this and that and stuff like that, there's the performance aspect of it. But at the same time, it's like, dude, this is not what I do here. Or I know this and this is popular right now. That's not what we do here. And I think because of my life getting in the way and my posting schedule going down and losing momentum and all that, but a lot of it was like, oh, dude, well, if you do this and that thing that's really popular right now, it's like, okay, but that's not what I do though. And it's not even a matter of like, oh, I'm scared to. It's a matter of like, dude, that has nothing to do with what I do. And I'm not going to do something that's not only outside my wheelhouse, but outside of anything that is what I'm about or this and that, because then you pretty much fall into like dance monkey dance. And I didn't want to fall in that thing of like, oh, whatever we tell him to do, he'll just do. Like, no, like at the end of the day, dude, I'm me. And there's things that I do, there's things that I don't, there's things that I'm about, there's things that I'm not, and I'm not going to. I mean, it's why I didn't start the OnlyFans. It's like I'm all for, like, if that's how you do your thing, cool. For me in my life, that's just it doesn't fit. It would mess with my military career, it would mess with other things, and I wasn't gonna like reach for it real quick for that like temporary thing and then have like the effects go on down the line. And that's just me. Like, I have friends of mine who do the OnlyFans and stuff like that, and for a lot of them, I'm like, hell yeah, hon. Like, hell yeah, hon. Get your tits out. Literally. No, literally, it's the literal personification of hell yeah, hon. Get your tits out. And for them, it works. And for them and what they do in their life, the pros outweigh the cons. For me, between it affecting my military career, potentially affecting my military career, or all these other things, it just wasn't. It wasn't something I wanted to do, and I wasn't going to be like,
not worth the reward.
It was not worth the reward, and it also was something to where it could potentially damage, for me, I'm not saying this for everybody, but for me and what I'm known for and this and that, I didn't want it to damage the good that it was doing for other people, regardless of the monetary gain. So, I mean, ultimately, like, if that's what someone does, hell yeah, hon, good for you. That's just not what I do. And I wasn't going to like reach for it real quick and just like, oh, they're telling me to do this now. Now I got to do this. Now I got to be this person. Now I got to be that person. It's like, no, dude, I'm me. And if you like me and what I do, cool. But I'm not going to turn into somebody else, just because that's what's popular right now. I'm not used to being unpopular. I've been unpopular for a lot of people for a very long time. It ain't an uncommon feeling. So.
No, it's nothing I'm not new to. Trust me. Yeah. I've been there. We've all been. Well, I say we've all been there. Majority of us have been there, so it's nothing new to me. So, but how you were saying earlier, I just a light bulb for some reason. And again, ADHD kicks in.
I was literally about to say ADHD brain. Bing.
Yeah, how you were saying that you're hard to kidnap, or you would be hard to kidnap, which I'm not. By no means am I saying that you would be hard to kidnap. But hypothetically speaking, just to kind of, we're going to break off of our algorithm for a second, and we're going to kind of put into a little funsy, if you will. If trust me, I'm not going to get weird on you, at least not yet.
Motherfucker, you've already told me you're going to try and get casts in my hands. God knows how many times.
No, hold on, no. A little fun to try. I'm going to do, because I'm a doer, not a don't do. I'm a doer.
You came up with that one by yourself, didn't you?
I got two. Which, complete side note, apparently these have made such a good impact on or at least on my end, or when I record, because people mention these to me here in Oklahoma. They're like, I've been asked what are the hands for and stuff like that,
Nice.
and I'm like, I got them for a prank for when I have long sleeves on. I can make the little hand. That was the initial joke.
Right.
But then they kind of just made their way in, and then like I call these my.
They hold
Copper,
the mic. Yep.
But these are my mini copper hands. It makes it look huge, by the way. But back to my original question I was going to get at.
Yeah, let's go back to that original point real quick.
Is you said you're hard to kidnap. So if by chance, because I still think that it could happen in so many years or whatever with what's going on, if we happen to be the zombie apocalypse starts to happen, or it has been happening for some time, because I believe it is at some point going to happen. Out of the whole NFA network, me, you, Zaga, and Ellie, and I haven't had the pleasure of meeting the fifth person. I don't know her name. She did an episode with Ellie.
Oh, yeah.
Is it? What's her name, Copper? Not her name's not. Oh yeah. What's her name? Is it Juliana?
I'm just gonna let you keep struggling. Y'all fuck with me all the time. I'm gonna let you keep struggling. I'm gonna let you keep struggling.
Nope. You know what? No, Jimmy, we're gonna let it ride. So I'm just gonna. This one's gonna bite me in the ass. The nice lady that does the episodes with Ellie on the Girl Talk. A little fun. 5 of us that we have collectively so far. A little fun. Which one of us would die first? A little fun. Why or how? Actually, you don't even have to give me the how. Like, just why? Which out of us would die first?
That's a hard one because I feel like it's very situational. Because I feel like there's the one standpoint of saying that I might go first because I just know me, and I know that I'd be the one to be like, get mom, dad, sister, cover, like get them, like fight to get them on like one of the last planes going out of the U.S. over to Ireland or something like that, which means I would have to get them to Boston, fight my way into the airport, get them on the fucking plane, tell them I'm going to be fine. Meanwhile, this whole time is the military calling me up, which is all the way over in Washington. I'm not going to be able to do a flight because there's a zombie apocalypse going on. So is the mask guard going to wrap me up? Is it really going to matter because without rule of law would go into effect? So there's a thought process of I might go first because I would be trying to do everything to take care of everyone else and make sure that they're good. And in that chaos, could I get clipped, killed, bitten, so on and so forth? Because I wouldn't just hunker down in one place. Or there's the thought process of me and my family would just hunker in freaking place. And even then, I'd probably be the one to get clapped because I would tell everyone else, get your asses in the basement. I'm going to deal with this. And so that might be the reason why. So there's that thought process. And then there's the other thought process of like skill-wise. What I will tell you is that even if you look at disasters that have actually happened, everything from like hurricanes, riots, this and that, it is unfortunately not the case that the least likely to survive person doesn't make it. I don't want to say least likely because there's plenty of people who they just don't have those skills. And, that's nothing wrong with them. They live a lifestyle that's not conducive to that, and that's fine. But I think oftentimes I would say I'd probably be the one to go first because I would be the most who's involved between the military, fire department, my own personal volitions, all that. I would probably be the one to go first or potentially get killed first because I would be the first to be like, go in and do something about it. As far as like a scenario where like for some reason I've gotten my family all out of the country, they're flying off somewhere safe. I get myself over to Ellie and Zaga them, and I just hunker down. That's a tough one. I don't know.
I think I made the mistake.
If we're looking at this from a realistic standpoint, you might be the one to go first. And the only reason I say that is that amongst the group, you are the furthest removed from everybody. So
That's fair. That's
even
fair.
if you were like, guys, I need this, I'd be like, the rest of us would be like, dude, we have no way to get to you. Like, and then if cell service goes down, we would have no way of contacting you at all. Now, how long you would last on your own, I have full confidence you would do just fine. But amongst the group, I don't know. That's a tough one.
I'm just gonna go ahead and fully admit this. I've ladies and gentlemen, I've made a mistake. I should not have asked about a zombie apocalypse to someone who was in the military, also is a firefighter, and spends a lot of his times out in the woods because
I fucked up.
No, you didn't fuck up. But I
I was saying that's what you're thinking right now is I fucked up.
Yeah, that's my mindset right now. I'm like, you know what? I got the answer that I knew I was gonna get, but not the answer that I was searching for. And bravo, Copper, like you thought this out. This is definitely not a thought that he's or this definitely is a thought that he is.
I haven't thought this several times all the time.
Yeah. And so, because I should have broke that. I should have done this a lot better.
You should have made it more specific.
I was gonna say I should have made it more specific because what I should have said is because the way you described that last part, it'd be pretty much if I'm making my way from Oklahoma to Connecticut or close to where you guys are at, I'm pretty much Joe from The Last of Us. Yep. Or Joel from The Last of Us. I'm going to be trying to just make my way north. But
that's a long walk.
That's a long walk.
Yep.
But how I should have worded it was that if all of the NFA network was together in the same area at the same time, the apocalypse has been going on for some time.
Oh, okay.
Here, and this
isn't like day zero shit.
No, this isn't day zero.
We're not all together and then day zero happens. Like day zero happens.
Yeah.
Somehow we're all together. So it's day like what?
And bro,
how many days gone are we?
That part I don't know. I can't give that part because I can't think of a good part because that one there are many different scenarios.
Are you not getting the reference at all?
And Bravo. The Office?
Days Gone?
Oh, no. I'm thinking of a scene from The Office. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of a scene from... one
of my favorite games, homie. One of my favorite
I know they're making a movie about it. Anywho.
Stop. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Well, I'll send you the link.
Please do. But anyway, so we're all together in one place.
We're all together in one place.
How far in the apocalypse are we?
That part I don't know because the different scenarios play out. But if I were to answer this question, I'm going to tell you that I don't believe it would be you that got clapped first because out of the five of us, I look at you as you would be like the Rick Grimes of the group. So you survive. And Bravo, I can't tell who everyone else is from The Walking Dead, but I'm going to go ahead and say that Zaga would probably be the one that got clapped first. And Bravo, reason being, the fuse is a little bit shorter. That fucking zombie, he fucking looked at me weird.
You think he'd get pissed off and you think he would get pissed off and make decisions based off emotion, not logic?
And Bravo, potentially.
Right.
And we also, this is another thing that I'm surprised you didn't ask me, what were the circumstances? Which zombies are we dealing with? World War Z?
That is such a big, that is such a big,
know.
That's such a big factor of it. And it's weird because like, I don't want to go too far into this, otherwise we'll get into a massive tangent on it. But I think that if we were to ever have, with my current understanding, with the current medical conditions and this and that we are aware of, or rather that I'm aware of, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that I don't realize and blah, blah, blah. I think we would probably end up with more of like a 28 days later, 28 weeks later type thing.
Ooh,
because because here's why. Because you have to think the majority of degenerative diseases, right, that we have that would cause people to become zombies, rather a human body that has become violent, unaware of their actions, and hostile towards other human beings. To the best of my understanding, as far as like what diseases exist, medical conditions exist that would actually cause people to do that in such large proportions, I think you would more be looking at a 28 days later. Yeah, like a World War Z 28 days later, 28 weeks later thing. Because if we're talking about a degenerative disease that makes it so that they can only move so fast and they're rotting away and they're dead and stuff like that, but still have cognitive function, but that cognitive function is to feed on things, right?
That's when you tap into the Last of Us, because that the fungus
the
is just
cordyceps thing. Yep,
they're just trying it all. It's just looking for a new host to continue to grow.
Yes, and I think that because even then, because if I'm not mistaken, in The Last of Us, they move fast, don't they?
Yes, they do move fairly fast. Now, if they're just like, but I did notice, because I never played the game, but I know that the cordyceps are like the zombies in close to The Walking Dead. And what I mean by the only similarity that they have is that after so long that they haven't been able to pass the virus or whatever, they become dormant, and so they kind of just like. And if you've seen, I know that you've seen that once they hear like a sound or they smell something,
yes, they're reactive to something and they go after that thing.
Yeah, so they could be sitting there for like 10 plus years, allegedly, and something could spike them to reemerge, and they pretty much go on the attack and stuff like that. But no, you're right. Like it depends on what type of virus we would be going into and stuff like that. But
I think that honestly, it would, if it were to ever happen, knock on wood, never does. But if something like a zombie apocalypse, quote unquote, wherever happened, I think you'd see it more like a 28 weeks later, 28 days later thing, where people are just becoming violent due to an illness that has gotten rid of their cognitive function and just makes them violent towards other people in such a mass capacity that it overruns the majority of the populace. I think that's what you would deal with, because I think that anything else like the brain eating, slow moving, indestructible except for the brain type zombies, there's just no pathology or viral or this and that I'm aware of that causes that level of, in essence, supporting life function through just a body part. You know what I mean? Like, cause even, like there was the whole deer virus thing for a little while.
I remember
it's
that.
like, okay, well, they're not, you know, it's not like the rest of them can get jacked up and those vital functions aren't vital anymore. And as long as the heart and the brain are working, they're fine. Like, no, like they were still susceptible to damage in the normal bodily functions, though impaired. Whatever's vital is still vital. You know, you hit a lung, they're still done. So if I were to wager a guess, I'd probably say it would be like a World War Z 28 days later, 28 weeks later, which World War Z pisses me off because the books are a classic. Gotta hit them in the brain. Like, and
we're going to get you on a tangent.
I'm going to go on a very short tangent. Because otherwise we'll talk about this for another hour. World War Z, okay, would have done fantastic as a series to cover all of the stories. Yeah, to cover all of the stories and perspective and the universe around World War Z. We didn't get that. No, we didn't get that. We got Brad Pitt bopping around the world, damn near everyone he comes into contact with getting schwacked with fast zombies that apparently don't like you if you're sick.
Yeah, you had to have like some medical condition.
Yes. And Plan B still owns that shit, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe 20-something years from now, we'll maybe get a series. But maybe one that'll actually be true to the book. And the audiobook, which is still one of the best audiobooks I've ever heard to this day, because it has a full cast, including Mark Hamill and Alan Alda. Oh, yeah, Mark Hamill's in it.
Huh.
Dude.
Okay.
Wait, have you never listened to the World War Z audiobook?
I didn't know it existed.
Oh, me. All right. Hold on. I'm gonna keep it short. So, so Max Brooks, the author, right, So Max Brooks is the author. So Max Brooks in the audiobook, in essence, voices himself because he voices the author of the book. The author of the book is basically a UN investigator that the zombie war, which lasts about like 10 years, right? It has happened. And he's a UN investigator who basically goes around the globe and interviews all these people. And then when he brings it back to the UN, what's left of the UN, which is where the Brad Pitt, formerly being with the whole UN thing, comes into play, they just break it down to numbers. To be like numbers, statistics, times, dates, this and this and that. And he says, okay, well, we can't just let these stories die. And his supervisor of the UN says, okay, don't. You have the legal power to use your notes, so write your own damn book. And he does. So the book is him having all these interviews, some planned, some people he just happened to bump into and like, you know, pulls out his recorder and starts interviewing. And dude, when I say that he interviews all these characters from everywhere, he interviews everyone from an Australian astronaut that was stuck in space for the majority of the zombie war to Mark Hamill's character, who he voices in the audiobook, because that's what I meant by the audiobook being a full cast. Like, the audiobook is a full cast. Every single character is voiced by a different person, and it sounds like they're actually being interviewed. Like, it doesn't sound like they're reading. It sounds like they're being interviewed.
That's really cool.
Dude, it's like an audio document. It's an audio mockumentary. That's the best way I can word it, because it literally sounds like he sat these people down and talked to them. Like Mark Hamill's in it, Alan Alda's in it. There's a couple of other celebrities in there that all do this. So yeah, if you ever get a chance, I don't want to spoil more for you. Sit down and actually listen to the audiobook. And it's part of what inspired me towards the audiobook direction. Like, because I heard it and I was like, dude, like, this is what audiobooks can be like? Fuck yeah. Because I was so used to hearing how books are being read like this, sounding roughly the same throughout the entire book.
Sound like an AI bot.
Almost, yeah. Like, people are like, oh, AI sounds fake. It's like, have you heard audiobooks from the 90s? Because some of them sound like they're AI. But like, just the emotion and the character and all that in it that I heard in World War Z, I was like, dude, I want to do this. Like it pushed me in that direction. Yeah, that was a spark. I mean, I'd always want to do like acting and voice acting. Right. As far as audiobooks, World War Z was the spark that I was like, oh, I would love to do that. Like, hell yeah. Like, yeah, that was it for me. That was like the spark in that direction. So yeah, if you ever get a chance, it's like 10 hours long because of all these stories.
Oh, that's perfect. I need something for work.
There you go. But like, yeah, dude, see if you can get it. I mean, I think some of it's on YouTube right now. But if you can, get the extended, don't get the abridged. Like, see if you can get the full shebang. Yes, and just listen to that thing and then get back to me.
Bet. And I'm gonna try to look that up tomorrow.
And you'll see why I'm so pissed off about World War Z, the movie.
Which wasn't a bad movie by itself, but
itself, no. Yeah.
But being from now that I know the fan that you are, I can see the disgruntledness and stuff like that. So I respect that and everything.
for as a movie by itself, right? Not being connected to the World War Z universe, it's not terrible. It is okay. But just knowing what the source material is and how the source material, there's hints and nods at it, but that's it. Like, the majority of that movie does absolutely nothing. It was to get everybody who liked the book to rush to the theater, and then by the time you're disappointed and pissed the fuck off, you already paid for your tickets so they get their money. That's what the heck that was.
Sorry, I hit my mic. I got scared.
That's all right.
Well, that was a good little change. I didn't know I was going to tap something there. That tends to happen.
There's very few works of art or literature or film or this or that I really nerd out about that much. World War Z is that one for me. World War Z is that one to where I'm like, dude, this inspired this, and I love this and this, and I love this and this. And so, yeah. So anytime someone brings up World War Z, I'm just sitting in the background like,
let me speak. Just let me speak.
You say you don't know something. Let me educate you on this thing. You're going to love it so much.
Again. So I have this thing. That I remember some comments from certain times, and it always sparks something in my head, and I always want to bring them back up. The last time you and I were on an episode together we were talking about the wedding, Zaga and Ellie's wedding, and the reason I bring that episode up, which was our second or third episode, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
The comment that Zaga threw at you about, I guess, and Zaga had in the background clips.
Oh, one of our episodes, yeah.
Old episodes, and Zaga was a little zooted and decided he made a comment about Copper's hairline.
My receding hairline.
Which, by your hair looks like it's growing back, because I know that
it's getting there, dude. It's getting there.
Holy shit, it's more there than I anticipated.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Okay. Well, if you guys don't obviously know by now, Copper did shave his head in unison, or like a unity thing it was your fire captain, correct?
Yes. Not my captain, my deputy fire chief for my department.
Fire chief. Okay.
Which, as far as I'm aware, because I've been away for a little bit, as far as I'm aware, the last update I got is that he is in remission.
Oh, that's awesome.
Still going through radiation. Yes, thank God. Was still going through radiation, because I think it's like they need 3 negatives or like a certain amount of negatives or whatever before they actually like go in and do the surgery or whatever. But all the news that I've heard is that he's doing good and he's getting better, and it looks like he's going to kick cancer square in the freaking neck and just, push through it. And I'm very happy to hear that.
Hell yeah. That's good. That's good to hear. I'm glad we actually got an update on that too.
Which is why I love every sticker I ever see that's like, fuck cancer.
Which obviously that wasn't the reason. I gave a little backstory to the question I'm going to be asking and stuff like that, due to hair and stuff like that. But I'm glad that myself and the rest of the audience that's listening has got a chance to know the update of all that. So
she's doing good.
Hope it continues down that way, because, like you said, fuck cancer. But you are a dapper man yourself. You take care of yourself from head to toe. I try to, and stuff like that. But we've all been through a time where we're not proud of what happened, but we were proud of it at the moment. But what is the worst haircut that you have ever allowed yourself to have? Style, cut, it does not matter. Because I have one. I'll
adult life or entire life? Because when you're a kid, your parents can kind of dictate your haircut sometimes.
Self-choice. Self-choice. Because, and the reason I say self-choice is because the one I'm going to tell you, I chose when I was a wee lad. I chose this haircut, and I rode that bitch till the wheels came off. And I look back at it. Actually, I'm going to do you better, because you've shared a lot with me. I'm going to once you give me yours, I have actually 2 that I am not proud of. One takes the cake, but one was the transition into it.
For a little while, in order to look more like my dad, who rocked a buzz cut, I just did the straight buzz cut for a little while. And I rocked that until about 8th grade. No. Yeah, it was about like 8th grade. Yeah, I think it was 8th grade. 8th or 7th grade. And the whole reason why I started growing my hair out was 2 girls in my class had mentioned that girls like guys with longer hair. Not long hair, but longer hair. And I was like, oh,
okay.
And they were like, okay. So I started growing it out, and then I eventually found the swish, and then come high school, and my nickname became Edward Cullen after those films came out, because I looked that's very much how my hair was. And I rocked that hairstyle before he ever did. And I rocked it for 3 years before the movies came out. No one gave a shit. And then the movies came out. And all of a sudden, I was so handsome. And all of a sudden. Yes, I had the Edward Cullen hairstyle for a while in high school and in my youth, way before the movies came out. But yeah, the buzz cut is probably the one that, like, I look back now and I look at it and I'm like, because you have to understand, with my ears, buzz cuts don't work out too good. They kind of protrude a little bit. It's all the better to hear the enemy with, but
I'm
they
not
stick
laughing.
out a lot. They stick out a lot.
Yeah, mine are fairly not as much.
Yeah, but they have like but they have like a taper going back a bit. Mine do not taper all that good. All right.
But I'll take. Fuck it. We're just gonna ride it.
Mm-hmm. Actually, real quick, do we want to take a quick 5-minute pee break first? Or no.
I mean, once this segment's done, I figure we can go ahead and ride into the conclusion.
True.
Because we're riding about it.
The conclusion. Sorry.
We changed it up in 2025. We're no longer riding to climax. We're riding to conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
But
instead of coming, we're just going to call it arriving.
Yeah, we're arriving. We're Paul Revering in 2025.
We're Paul Revering.
Mm-hmm. So in high school, elementary school, I had fairly long hair, not skater hair yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so I talked my mom into letting me get blonde streaks. And so I had the skunk hair. I had the streaks, and then I did the skunk hair where it was like dark on the side, blonde in the middle, and then I did like the swish, because it was cool. And then when I did and then I transitioned into the frosted tips, and I looked like Guy Fieri. It was not my proudest moment, but then I decided
I can kind of see it now.
Oh, it gets better.
I can barely, but I can kind of see it now.
Yeah, I think it was in junior high or elementary school. It was one of the two. I decided to take it a step further. I was very. As soon as I say this, I know you're gonna know where this went.
Mm-hmm.
I was a big fan of Eminem back in the day. I still am to this day. But
bleached your hair and cut it short, didn't you?
Oh yeah, it was cut short, and I bleached it. And this was the kicker though. I told my mom, I was like, well, if we're gonna bleach my hair, I need to match. We need to do my eyebrows. And she tried to warn me that bleaching it, and I was like, no, it'll be fine. It's not gonna burn and stuff like that. We bleached it. I was under the faucet after about 15, 20 minutes scrubbing because it burned all through here. I had the buzz cut, the blonde hair. I was not so Slim Shady at that time. But then you fast forward to when I was in junior high, and that was when my skater era started, and my hair went down to about right here. I had like Bieber hair, and it covered like to right here. Had the nice little swoop.
It is really hard for me to picture that on you.
I will send you my military dependent ID that has the picture of it on there. I have it.
Okay.
I have it on hand.
Okay. I got it on deck.
And then, so after that hair, I ended up with a buzz cut, but not on my own free will. I got drunk after I moved out of my parents' house. My roommate at the time, he took clippers when I was drunk, passed out, and gave me a landing strip down the center of my head.
Motherfucker.
I was drunk. I was like,
you don't do that, man. Come on.
Well, there was nothing else. I mean, at that point, I had to do what we needed to.
Well, no, drunk. I mean, you need to do you don't fuck with someone's hair when they're drunk, dude. Come on now.
There is a code, but apparently back then we were more degenerative than we are now. But so we cut the rest of it.
Right.
It was so bad. I woke up the next morning and I flipped behind my ear thinking it was loose hair. There was a long strand of hair still attached to my head. And this was my douchebag era because I took my beard and I would take my beard clipper and I did like the pencil jawline.
Oh Lord!
And it was thin right here around my mouth. It was so bad.
The 90s Sugar Ray,
yes,
total douchebag MTV looking. Good Lord!
And I do have pictures of those, and I'll send them in the group chat tonight. I'll send the military ID and those.
All right.
But yeah, those are probably my worst haircuts I've ever had. The blonde one you won't be able to see because I have to go to my mom's house, which is about an hour away. They're somewhere, but I'll get those at some point. But everything else I'll be able to show you, and everyone can have a laugh.
Nice.
But no, I know, Copper, you've got to empty the system because that's why I also talked really fast because I'm not going to deprive a man of going to the bathroom.
Homie, I've been in the Army for 12 years.
This is true.
I'm very versed in the art of holding it in, even though you really have to fucking go.
Understandable. But I want to say we did fairly well. I think we've wrapped up this episode fairly well.
I think so.
I know we had an outline. We deterred from it. We did very well deterring from it. We still incorporated the outline. So
listen, in this group, group, if we have an outline with like 10 bullet points and we hit 3 of them, that's pretty good for us.
That's college work right there, if you ask me,
right.
for us. But we hope that you guys enjoyed everything, from the seriousness to the little bit of the personal questions and stuff like that.
That's the other thing I've noticed with you and I too is that we transition very easily from like to man, like that's I very much get it, and then right back into philosophical, and then into dick jokes, and then
and see, that's different with me and Zaga. We just completely make fun of one another, which is fine. I like that. I like the different chemistry that we have.
Right.
But I watching the episode and listening to the episode of Ellie and God, I hope I have her name right. It's Juliana. They did really well. They got really deep. They had fun, and I feel like you and I are the male versions of that. Who is who? Do not know.
I think if we had, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, like, as far as being in that vein, I think if we had more of like a centered thing that like didn't let us go off on nerd tangents, I think that you and I could very easily get into the philosophical, psychosocial, psychological, not psychological, philosophical, like vein and stuff like that. And maybe we'll have to have an episode where we do that, where like
I was just about to say you and I should plan that out.
I think that'd be kind of interesting to do, of like have you and I go off on an episode that just focuses on like this or that thing about life or about growing up and this and that. Because you and I both know that there's going to be ways that it'll go into that and it'll branch off. But I think that if we keep it in like a philosophical direction or a more quote unquote serious direction, that we might go off on like tangents, but they won't be able to be like nerd tangents because we won't be talking about nerd shit. If that makes sense.
We'll be honed in. We'll be focused.
It'll be more honed in. Yeah.
No, I like that. I think it'd be a different take.
I'm down.
It'll be we'll plan that for either before you leave or when you're back. One of the two. We're gonna do. It's gonna happen. But in saying that, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. Copper. Every episode we do. The 2 episodes of you and I have done solo together. Absolutely love. I love you as a friend. I love you as a content creator.
So do I.
I enjoy you as a person. I enjoy you collectively. You as a whole. I enjoy you as a whole, and I enjoy your whole. And
excuse me.
That I didn't say that. Yeah, I did.
Excuse me.
I didn't burp. I didn't. We're just. Are we just too straight? Are we just 2 straight men staring into each other's eyes, seeing who's gonna break first? Because I promise you, I'll break right here, right now. I'm like laundry. I'll fold.
The problem is when I'm looking in the camera and I can't see where you're looking.
That's true.
So one of us breaks and the other one just doesn't know.
No. But no, it was a fun night. I look forward to hearing this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. And yeah, that's long story short. Never be embarrassed of your old haircuts. Always have a plan for the zombie apocalypse like Hopper has, because he will not be available for the whole entire world to save him. And yeah, that's
the whole
all.
Entire world to save me, or me to save the entire world?
Yeah, you can't save the entire world, Copper. As much as you would like to, you can't save the entire world.
In fairness,
You do the best you can with to your ability.
There's some parts of the world I'm very happy to not save.
Fair enough.
There are some parts of the world that I'd be like, yeah, that part can go. That part can go.
But
I love how you're trying so hard not to ask me which one.
Yeah, no, I'm like, nope. We have to wrap it up. We have to wrap it up. But all right, Copper, go ahead and say your goodbyes. I know that you're much better at it than. This is what they come for.
Oh Lord, this is what they arrive for. What they revere.
It's
what they Paul revere. But love y'all. Always happy to be here. Nick, always happy to chat with you, talk with you. You and I think that I definitely like the idea of you and I having a few more episodes together, because like whenever you and I are on episodes, it's always you, Zaga, and I. You, Zaga, Ellie, and I think we did one that was like you, Ellie, and I, didn't we?
No, that is. I don't think that's one we tapped into yet.
No,
that's one we are going to tap into. That's going to be fun.
But always happy chatting with you. Always happy catching up with y'all. But in the vein of whether or not TikTok goes away finally, I will be stepping back from it a bit to focus on the other things. And one of the big things I will be focusing on is this. So here at the NFA pod. Huh?
And we're excited for that. And just so that everyone doesn't go into a Copper withdrawal, when Copper is MIA, we've all signed NDAs. We can't say where he's going. So when he is gone, Zaga, the mastermind behind the curtain and stuff like that, has already got a plan to give you your daily doses of Copper in Copper's absence.
I've trained him in the art of psyops. Actually, no, I haven't even trained him in the art of psyops. His wife has trained him in the art of psyops. Let's be honest. The intel lady, who's secretly scary, has trained him in the art of psyops.
There's no secretly there. It's documented. She's very scary.
If you've watched this, yes, but when you first meet her, you
go in there blindly. It's fine.
Yeah, no, it's not, because you don't know. She's all sweet, and cute, and witchy, and meanwhile she's not even throat chop. She just knows how to psychologically jack you.
If I wanted to be psychologically damaged, I would talk to my therapist.
Yeah,
I'd let my therapist do that.
I had a witty comment to that one. No, yeah.
So yeah, in saying that, find work balance. Find balance between content creating, work, life. Make sure you talk to a therapist. Be kind to yourself. And always remember, keep listening to the NFA Network.